Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjanam Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjanam Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjanam Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jayo Prabhupada 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 Hari 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 Bo.
Может быть, стул сюда поставим?
Окей, хорошо. Спасибо. Харе Кришна, Кришна Кришна, Харе Харе, Харе Рама, Рама Рама, Харе Харе. Ом Намо Бхагавате Васудевая. Ом Намо Бхагавате Васудевая. Ом Намо Бхагавате Васудевая. I would like to start today with proper glorification of Srila Prabhupada. because you Indians had some acquaintance with Krishna, more or less. Practically nobody who had a good fortune to be born in India could have avoided seeing him. Muslims, Hindus, even Muslims, they saw Lord Jagannath at least once a year. They had their, the pious accepted that God is only one, and appreciated devotional sentiments. Some were inimical, but nobody was without Krishna in one way or another. It's not the same thing for us, born in the West. And historically speaking, our grand guru, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he wanted that Krishna's glory, Krishna's name would be spread over the whole universe. He was a Jagat Guru. Jagat means Jagan, universe. Jagat Guru, Guru of the whole universe. So he indeed wanted that Krishna, Harinam, would be spread. And he sent some of his disciples, sannyasi disciples, to England. And they were, first they were horrified. Oh, but there is nothing to eat. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati got angry at them. If you have nothing to eat but meat, then you eat meat, but you preach. He was so definite in his message, a very unusual personality. And at the same time, Srila Prabhupada, he was living life of a grihasta in one way, externally. He did his business, he maintained his family, he had 4 children, and every day he was coming to do his work. He had a chemical company, and being busy, he chanted 16 rounds, and his godbrothers, they derided him. First, he was a grihasta, and second, he didn't chant 64 rounds as they did chant. So, but being a family man, he still did everything. He fulfilled his obligations, and how he did, he chanted 4 rounds in the morning, 4 rounds in the noontime, 4 rounds in the afternoon break, and 4 rounds in the evening. In this way, he split it in manageable pieces. And in this way, he was able to concentrate also on without undue distraction on a holy name. Anyhow, so the endeavor of his godbrothers, the disciples of sannyasis of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, were next to nil. It was one lady who became a devotee. And also, incidentally, when Prabhupada disciples, she was in Great Britain, and when Prabhupada disciples, Western disciples, found her, they tried to contact her, but she was not very agreeable. So kind of, she didn't reject them, but she didn't want to have anything to do. Anyway, so why I'm specifically starting to talk about Srila Prabhupada? Because he's our guru. He is our founder acharya. That means it's his credit that we are sitting here. It's to his credit that we know about Krishna, all in all. Because for us, well, even those who were fortunate enough to aspire for a spiritual path, we didn't know. We didn't know better. We tried this, we tried that, we made some compromises, we joined this, we joined that. At least speaking for myself, I was looking and never was satisfied. It was either it felt mentally based, or it was just sentimentality. Nowhere I found what my heart actually wanted personally. And it's funny, in my personal case, it was not, I studied a lot. Of course, what was available at that time is Mayavadi philosophy. Everything is one. So, yes, everything is one. As we know, it's not entirely incorrect, but it's truth, but it's only a part of truth, because we have Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. There are these three aspects of the Absolute. And only in Bhagavan, in person, God as a person, we have a top, the paramount, the topmost point of the whole philosophy, all knowledge. So everything is there in Krishna, in Krishna's personality, because Brahman is only his effulgence. Like if you look at our bodies in a warm camera, you see that there is an emanation. We are emanating heat. You know, a lot comes from the heart, and so on and so on and so on, other parts of the body, but we are actually also emanating. So, but Krishna is emanating, his beginning of his emanation is Brahman, something which Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, by little tiny part of myself, I pervade and support the entire universe. So that's Brahman. So Paramatma is more, it's a step towards the personal. It's Krishna's representation which sits in everybody's heart. Mine, yours, 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 even in a little worm. I don't know about bacteria, honestly. And don't ask me about viruses, but somehow Paramatma is there. And nobody knows where the border between living and non-living actually is, because strictly from the point of view of Vedic philosophy, there is nothing which wouldn't be out of Krishna's existence, animated or inanimated. So, and of course, Bhagavan. Bhagavan is a person. Like you can approach this person. This is why we have this personalistic philosophy. You can interact. How can you interact? Who is in Sweden now the president? I don't even remember. Some insignificant personality. But even to that insignificant personality, you cannot simply come. If I would like to say, come and say, I have a lot to say to this president, I tell you honestly, I'm very unhappy with the way things are handled in Sweden. But even this insignificant personality in insignificant actually land on the outskirts of Europe cannot be approached that easily. I cannot just simply knock on the door and say, hey, look, what are you doing here? this stinks, this is not good, this is not good. What? I mean, you are sitting here pretending to be a big boss. Work for it. Work for the benefit of the whole population here. But I cannot do it. I cannot do it because he has guards. He has, you know, locked doors, this and that. Nobody will let me in to say what I would like to say to him. Imagine how much more difficult is to reach the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It's impossible. And it's possible at the same time. Krishna is full of contradictions, seeming contradictions, because our little, as Srila Prabhupada used to say, pea brain, brain of the size of the pea. Pea is a small, less than 1 centimeter. So he made this point that with a little brain, we cannot comprehend actually. Even if we are great philosophers, still we cannot fathom, we cannot imagine fully Krishna's greatness, God's greatness. This is a seemingly impossible task. You can immediately object, but then what's the use? We do not understand anything anyway, then let's just eat, drink, have a good time, and that's all about it. No, but we have Krishna's instructions, his own words. We have holy scriptures. Actually, all of the bona fide scriptures in this world are coming from God, but they are coming according to time, place, and circumstances. I can quote that at the present Srimad Bhagavatam is about 100,000 verses. But it was much more. But most of them are lost due to the influence of time. Brahma Samhita, this wonderful creation of the secondary creator of this universe, we have only 5th chapter, thanks to Lord Chaitanya, who found it for us. So it was chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 4. We have only chapter 5, and we do not know where it was actually ending. So this is the influence of time. We have less and less and less information, but still it is there. The Vedic scriptures, Vedas, in the old times, people had greater intelligence. They had a greater memory. They had, even in our Kali Yuga time. In India, the same India, people are going to school at the age of 5. And they had sharp memories. Reading, writing, of course, was there, because it came just in the turn of Kali Yuga. Before, it was no need. Because if you wanted to know something, you go, you find a teacher, whatever, in whatever department of knowledge, and you come to him and say humbly, with a straw in your teeth, I would like to know this and that. Please instruct me. And if he would be pleased with you, he would instruct you. And you hear it once, and that was it. There was no need of books, no need of writing. Anybody wanted to have the same knowledge, he would come to you in the turn, and you would transmit this knowledge in the same completeness, exactly as you got it from your spiritual master, from your master, Guru, because Guru doesn't have to be a spiritual master. As we know, there are different Gurus, and Diksha Guru is one who votes for you in front of the Lord. He's personally taking a personal responsibility for bringing you to Krishna. But the other gurus also can be spiritual gurus, shiksha gurus. Shiksha means instruction. And there is no limit to the number of shiksha gurus. Then, of course, there is a third category, as we know, Vartmana Pradarshaka Guru. It's very interesting. Somebody who might not be in our line, who might have no knowledge, but he or she will just give you a push in the right direction to Krishna. And that person still would be considered your guru by a proper disciple. But anyway, all these gurus, spiritual masters, because ultimately, yes, it's important to, we have 4 different varnas, Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, Shudras. For everybody, there is a guru in their particular field of business. For Brahmanas, obviously, it's study of scriptures. For Kshatriyas, it's management, business administration. It's in a high level. And, of course, the military. Kshatriyas are most known by their military powers. Bhagavad Gita describes in detail capacity of each and every varna. For Vaishyas, there is a business, banking, and agriculture. Krishi, Gorakshya, Vanijyam. And for Shudra is a labor. But for each and every varna, there is a person, somebody from who you learn the basics of the trade. So this is also a guru, not a spiritual master, perhaps. I spend a lot of time in a little bit early period of my life training in a martial art. And I had only one trainer. So I do consider him my guru, although he is somewhat spiritually inclined, but no, he is not a Krishna's devotee. Still, he taught me anything I know. And if I need to transmit this knowledge to somebody else in the material field, then I can do it because of his knowledge given to me. All these gurus, why I'm talking so long about guru? Because all these gurus are coming directly as a manifestation of Nityananda Ram. And this, here I'm coming to the original topic. Lord Nityananda, Nityananda Ram, Nityananda Ram. It's, of course, you cannot, in a certain sense, you cannot discriminate between Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda. They are inseparable and separate. They're still different personality, with different characters, different traits, different moods. Especially Nityananda, he is an avaduta. He can do anything, anything he wants. Like, he was jumping in a river and embracing the crocodiles and telling them, chant Hare Krishna. I wouldn't do that. I know the end result will be crocodiles will have a nice taste. I don't know, taste or not, but meal. And I won't be here to talk with you. But when Lord Nityananda did it, crocodile was just listening and trying to say Hare Krishna, but they couldn't because their mouth is not meant for chanting holy name. But they were trying, and he appreciated it. There are many innumerable pastimes which manifest by Lord Nityananda, but most important, I would say, for us is his mercy aspect. I will take only 2 incidents which are well known, but they are absolutely worth to repeat. One is Jagai and Madai. Jagai and Madai, for whatever reason, they were Brahmanas, Dvija Bandhu, as they say, born in a family of Dvija, twice born, which are Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas. Shudras are not twice born, because they do not get initiation. There is no need for them. But still, they were complete drunkards and debauchees. They were just drinking every day, harassing people, hunting women. Probably they were getting, some nose smashed a couple of times by more Kshatriya types who they met, but that didn't stop them. They only had felt it's fun. Yes, I have a bloody nose today, or jaw on the side, but it's only fun. Who cares? Next time I'll do better. That was a concept of enjoyment. And in this so-called merry way, they were spending their life until they met Lord Nityananda. And he, as to everybody, he just said, "You chant the holy name." And they were just laughing at him and they were mocking at him initially, on the first day. And I don't remember. Somehow they parted. And next day, he meets them again in a deranged condition. Hanging around. He comes to them and says, "Please, please, please, chant the holy name. Hari, Hari, Hari." And they got angry. And one of them took their broken pot and threw it in a lotus-like face of Lord Nityananda. And he was hit on the forehead and the blood was oozing. And but he didn't care. But then the news came to Lord Chaitanya. They already met at that time. And so immediately he is Krishna himself, Krishna and Radha. So immediately he shed this appearance of a devotee and took to his ferocious form with chakra. And he was just about to fly and chop these miscreants in a small pieces. But then Lord Nityananda stopped him. "Please, please, my dear Lord, don't do that. The purpose of this incarnation of yours is to save, not to destroy." Anyway, meanwhile, they started to repent, and they finally came and asked Lord Chaitanya for forgiveness. But he said, "No, I'm not forgiving you," Krishna said. "But if Lord Nityananda forgives you, then I'll forgive you." And that had happened, and they became happy and became devotees. Just outside in Mayapur, there was a Ganges on the other side, practically speaking, of the other side of Bhaktisiddhanta Swami Marg, the road outside of the door of my wall of Mayapur. And there was Ganges flowing, tributary of Ganges. And now the river moved very far. I was there twice in my life, and that was like 20 years, maybe more difference. And I'm coming there, and the Ganges is far away, and all these places, occupied with fields, and the houses everywhere. When I was there first time, long building. It's indeed a long building. And from the edge of the long building, you could see the yoga pit, the birthplace of Lord Chaitanya. But now you only see buildings, some little fields around. But things are changing. Anyway, the second story was of a similar kind, but it was happening earlier in the history of Lord Nityananda. Because, you see, he, although he was in a renounced order externally, but still, he was avaduta. I mean, you cannot put, he was wearing blue silk dhoti, blue chadar, a lot of wonderful, fantastic jewels, 9 kinds of jewels. And Lord Nityananda, Lord Chaitanya later described his glories by referring to these jewels as 9 types of devotional service. Because how do you get devotional service? Through your spiritual master, through Nityananda, of course. That's why it's so relevant to us. And so he was very beautiful, like Lord Chaitanya. He had this aura, the air, the radiation around him. That's why Gaura Nitai, they are dancing there on the altar. And but externally, some people misunderstand who they were. There was this, again, Brahmana, deranged Brahmana, who didn't want to be Brahmana. He wanted to be, again, the history doesn't say if he was a drunkard or not, but he certainly was a thief. He was, I presume, he was, yes, he was a drunkard. Because I will tell this story and you will understand why it is so. Because as is customary there, at that time they were worshipping incarnations of goddess Kali. And worship of Kali is quite tough. It's accompanied by animal sacrifice. When you go to Navadvip, you can see sometimes this Kalikut, Calcutta, it's referred to that too. And even in Navadvip, nowadays they do slaughter some animals, so you can have not a very pleasant experience if you happen to be at that time around. And demigod worship is giving fruits, material fruits, and rather easily. And it's, in a certain sense, it's a Vedic prescription, because if somebody wants to be sinful, at least this person should be sinful according to the Vedic rules. Follow something. Like Srila Prabhupada, when he just came to United States, he was sitting there in lower Manhattan, completely alone, and he only had this, trunket with Bhagavatams printed in India, and that, few pennies, and that was it. And there were drunkards hovering around. And of course, Srila Prabhupada, dressed in a orange, sannyasi, Indian, very unusual personality, they kind of approached him. They were curious about. And so he spoke to them, and he said to them that, look, you are drinking wine, but Krishna is everywhere. And if you think that Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, I'm the taste of water, aham apsute kauntiya, and this to Arjuna. And Srila Prabhupada said that if you just think, when you drink your wine, you think that Krishna is a taste, because wine is mostly 99% water. If you think that Krishna is a taste of this wine, you will make a spiritual advancement. Imagine that. Drinking as a form of spiritual advancement. But again, this is a proper instruction. This is a bona fide. This is Vedic. Srila Prabhupada was following Vedic ways, Vedic instructions, because whatever, there are always some people who will not live a clean and pure and sinless life. They want to do this, they want to do that. For that, Vedas have a prescription. Like in this unpleasant situation of animal slaughter. Okay, you want to eat meat, not cows. But cows are strictly off limits. But, you know, some lower animal. Then do that according to the Vedic instructions, and then at least it will be, you know, some advancement. You will still suffer for the taking life unnecessarily, but at least you will suffer, then you will go to the next step, then again and again, and perhaps one beautiful day you will be elevated to spiritual knowledge. Anyhow, so this instance when the son of the Brahmana had a gang of bandits, dacoits, and they saw this wonderful personality completely covered with this beautiful, most beautiful jewel with, you know, blue silk dhoti and this and that. And they decided, it's a lot of gold and jewels here. And he is alone. He doesn't seem to be, you know, too powerful. I think we can take some weapons, and we are many, and he is the only one. We can do some good deal here. And they got some weapons, indeed, and they decided, they found out where he was staying, and they decided to rob him. But what happened that, we know, Krishna Bhagavan, we know what happened, that this evening they fell asleep. And they didn't get up until early morning. What's this? They said. All right, probably we drank too much wine before, so next time you don't drink before. And so they didn't drink that day. They got even more weapons, and they coming to the house where Lord Nityananda was staying, and lo and behold, they see huge, powerful soldiers all around, and they chant, Hari, 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 Hari. So there were too many. We do not know how many. There were too many for them. There were three or four. And they looked and this and that, and they realized, no, it's not a good idea. So we go back. But next night, we will absolutely certainly, we will take these jewels. And off they went, and this time they had no soldiers, they didn't fall asleep. But what happened that one of them fell in the huge pit, and there were some snakes and scorpions there, and they were biting him, and he was suffering, and he couldn't get out, he couldn't escape. Meanwhile, another one went straight into the bush. Why? Because all of them got blinded. Suddenly they went blind. So he went in the, you know, in India, you Indians, you know, it can be such incredibly prickly bushes. So he went straight in one of them. And he sits there. He tries to move, and he cannot, because the more he moves, the more he gets hurt by these thorns. So he just cries miserably, and so on and so on and so on. Then, on the top of that, Indra, who, as we know, is in charge of the weather, rain, he got, now it's time to work a little bit here. So he sent some nice cloud, nice rainstorm, cold, and it was raining and raining and raining, cold rain and ice, not just huge balls of ice started to fall from the sky, and they were beating the poor bastards all over, and they were suffering and suffering and suffering and suffering and suffering. Then, I mean, the chief was actually son of a Brahmana. So finally, it came to him. Oh, there is something wrong here. Probably we are doing something which is not right. Probably it's not just a regular personality. It's probably Krishna's incarnation. Oh! And it was in his mind. And of course, as Chaitya Guru is in the heart, is a Paramatma. Krishna knew all that. Krishna knew this. Krishna knew. And Lord Nityananda knew that. And so immediately he removed all that problems. And then realizing what they committed, the chief of the dacoits, he fell in front of Lord Nityananda and begged for forgiveness. And he was crying and shedding tears. He was shivering. He had all these symptoms of transcendental emotion in his body. And there was interesting discussion there. And at a certain point, Lord Nityananda just said, that's okay, that's fine. And then he couldn't believe that his companions went home because they were not Brahminically inclined, so they were happy just to leave the place. But he became an intimate associate of Lord Nityananda. Such an interesting story. Why it's relevant to us? Because again, it is simple. The fact that we are sitting here, and I speak not only in particular not about those who are right now here or who are listening to what I'm trying to bring about Lord Nityananda, but people around, inhabitants of the material world, 14th level of planetary systems, innumerable universes. We are all here in this world, full of janma, birth, mrityu, death, jara, old age, and vyadhi. Vyadhi means diseases. And this is a fourfold miseries. And why we came, why we have it? Simply because we choose. It's our choice. We have nobody to blame but us, ourselves. Because one day we've been in a spiritual realm. Everybody is having some sort of a relationship with Krishna. But we, out of our free will, decided not to be with him. We who are here, a little better. We have a chance. Again, because of Lord Nityananda. His mercy manifested through the chain of disciplic succession. Srila Prabhupada in particular. But still, we are on the way, or we are on the path. And this, why it's important to talk about these miscreants, because if they got a chance, if they got a mercy, then there is a chance for us too. And it's like this. Krishna is a tough boy. He demands surrender. Of course, in 12th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, there is, like, if you cannot surrender to me, then, do something, then, at least work, for good cause. You can renounce your bring parts of your income to a spiritual purpose. This and that, there's some leeway, but Krishna is rather hard. Yad krashi, yad ashnasi, yad juhashi, dadasi, yad tapasyasi kantiya tat kurasha madarpanam. Do that, whatever you do, as a sacrifice to me. So there is no, in no uncertain words, Krishna is tough. And in the end of Bhagavad Gita, so Krishna speaks whole Bhagavad Gita, all 40, half an hour, 40 minutes, as people estimated. And then he concludes in it's in chapter abandon all the varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I'll protect you from all the sorts of fears. Do not be afraid. Masuchaha, he said. Ma in Sanskrit is a na is a negation, but ma is a very definite negation. Do not worry. So yes, we had in the history, recorded history, some people who managed to surrender to Krishna. Maharaj Khatvanga comes to memory because he asked, it's like there's, cuckoo bird. Cuckoo bird, how long will I live? So he asked a saint, how long will I live? He said, you just have few seconds. Imagine the power. It's a kshatriya, real kshatriya. He immediately understood it. He immediately said, okay, that's it. He gave up everything, disconnected. He became spiritualized immediately. Of course, it's Maharaj Parikshit. You have 7 days to live. Imagine. What would we do if somebody comes with this, wonderful knowledge? You have, well, he is so much better, Maharaj Parikshit. He was so much better because he knew, I have 7 days. We do not know. Who knows? I'm sitting here trying to talk about Lord Nityananda. Can happen at whoop, in a second, boom, oh, I spilled the water. Anyway. But who knows? Yes, you can do astrology. You can get some knowledge. But it's, I would say, generic knowledge. Still, Lord Nityananda. I talk too much. No, you cannot talk too much about Lord Nityananda. You can talk not enough about Lord Nityananda and Lord Chaitanya also. Little bit of the trivia, of the facts. Sri Nityananda Prabhu appeared in the month of Magha around the year 1474 in a small village of Ekachakra, situated in a Bibhum district of West Bengal. Thank you very much. Shri Hadayodja and Srimati Padmavati Devi were his proud parents. Shri Haday Pandit was the appearance of the combined potencies of Shri Vasudev, father of Balaram, and Shri Dasharat, father of Lakshman, while Srimati Padmavati was the incarnation of the potencies of Rahini, mother of Balaram, and Sumitra, mother of Lakshman. So you can see that there is in Lord Nityananda, there is a reference, and it happens throughout the history of his pastimes. There are many such references to Ramayana, to pastimes of Lord Ramachandra. So it's very intricate. It's many of his associates also are coming from Ramayana part, in fact. There is a wonderful scripture. Unfortunately, somebody borrowed it from me. Hare Krishna. I had a Gauragana Desha Deepika. It's a somewhat small book, but there it's described that who is who in the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya from Krishna Lila, from Ram Lila. And it's very enjoyable reading. I hope this person one day will bring it back. But anyway, it exists in electronic form as well. But a book is always nice to have, practical. So, only Gaura knew where his associates would take birth. Bengal, Bangladesh, Nepal, Orissa, some in Radhadesh, part of West Bengal, where the Ganges doesn't flow, as a description. And that was Lord Nityananda. His appearance was predicted, in fact, a long time ago. Actually, in Ekachakra, the place of his birth, let me activate here. Oh, here I brought some picture. Here is a map of Ekachakra. Thank you. Yeah, does it come? You can see that's a map of birthplace of Lord Nityananda, Ekachakra. And some pictures are mine, some are not, but I usurped them for the sake of preaching. Let's see. This is ISKCON temple, the aerial view. A beautiful temple there. You see how green and lush it is. It's still a very nice place. Very nice because, like Mayapur, like Vrindavan, like Mayapur, you have to develop a certain vision to see the Lord. There are quite a lot of, how to say, seemingly mundane happenings there. And for some, it might be difficult. Ekachakra is just more or less just as it used to be. People there are mostly taking care of the cows. They are living the simple life, simple living, high thinking, as Srila Prabhupada used to say. They are embodying these principles. It's not like us living in the cities. That's another view of ISKCON temple. And here is inside. Another aerial view. The different birthplaces, just Ekachakra alone is worth the separate narration. I will only show these few pictures, and just so you can get a glimpse, a feeling of the place. And of course, whenever you go to India, visit Ekachakra is a must. I can tell you. And my experience is very simple. I've been there only for one day, and I'm telling you, absolutely certainly, it's not enough. Go there at least for 3 days, at the very least. And you will get so much more benefit, spiritual benefit of it. Lord Nitai Pandit Ki Jai. And of course, local Vasis, wonderful as they are. And this is a wonderful place. Ekachakra is a transcendental imprint of Vrindavan. And this, in particular, this place is a Govardhan, none less than Govardhan. So it's surrounded by fields and rice fields, so you can see here, and you can visit this place. It's again local Pandit. So, and let me just take some more pictures. This is how they live. Again, ISKCON temple. That's another interesting aspect, and I want to talk. You recognize this scene as it went on the battle of Kurukshetra. They were all relatives fighting, and Krishna was in relation to both sides, in fact. So he said, you can have, somebody can have my army, and other party can have me, but I will not fight. He said. And of course Arjuna he immediately said, Krishna, I want you. It's Arjuna. And Duryodhana, he said, wow, so many skillful soldiers. I gladly appreciate to have a little addition to my army. And Krishna indeed was a charioteer, and charioteers are not considered to be soldiers. They are charioteers, so non-combatants. And Duryodhana, he accused Bhishmadev. Look, he said, I think you are not fighting well enough. I think you are partial to Arjuna, and you do not want to kill him. And of course, to throw a challenge at Kshatriya, even nowadays, is a dangerous thing. There are some Kshatriyas in India still. And at that time, it was unheard of. Bhishmadev said, tomorrow, I'll kill Arjuna. And they came, and Bhishmadev was fighting like anything. He was fighting so ferociously. He was like a god of death personified, like Yamaraj. And finally, Arjuna fell on the knees. And at that time, Krishna saw the situation. He breaks the wheel of the chariot, takes his chakra and dashes towards Bhishmadev. And he is completely happy. He falls on the knees, you know, my Lord, you are coming to me. I managed to break your promise not to fight. It was beyond belief. It's such a situation. So this is and then Krishna froze this wheel, and this wheel landed there. That's why it's called Eka Chakra, one wheel. So that was happening there. So beautiful. Not all the temples there allow photographing. Here you can see a real peaceful land. There are 2 or 3 temples where you are not allowed to make photos. And so we do respect these wishes of pandas, local pandas, priests. Just like we who are not in the Indian bodies, we do respect the temple of Jagannath. If you are not a Hindu, in a Hindu body, you are not allowed to go there. So we do not do that. Although it's still, we respect that. So you can see that people living, assembling stuff, and cows, bulls everywhere, a lot of cow dung. You can see, you can have a very, clear feeling to how it used to be in Krishna's time, how nicely they lived, simply but nicely. They had abundance of everything. So you can see this is a heap of a cow dung and cows. Towards behind that there is a field, and in that field Lord Nityananda had a brother, and this brother was another Krishna's incarnation. And to that story it comes that once they were called to help in the fields to pull the weeds, and the boys were pulling the weeds, and finally they got tired. They said, okay, go and rest. And when they came back, then he pulled this huge field, made this whole field clean. Such an amazing history. So there are some Psalms of Saints. Yeah. Oh, one day, one beautiful day, Nityananda Janmastan. This is a gate through which you enter into Eka Chakra, birthplace of Lord Nityananda. Of course, the wonderful cows. Yeah. So everybody knew in Eka Chakra before appearance of Lord Nityananda that he will come and who he will be. But when he actually appeared, we are in the illusion. We are enwrapped by Mahamaya. But Krishna's devotees, Krishna's associates, are under the influence of another Maya, Yoga Maya. So, like Krishna, in original Krishna's pastimes, Krishna's parents didn't think that he is God. They thought at all, he's our little boy, and we need to protect him. We need to take care of him. This and that. This little boy were, in bed was killing, demons like left and right. But still, his parents were taking care of him. When Krishna lifted Govardhan Hill with his little pinky finger, and the Gopas, his friends, and other cowherd boy and men, they were taking sticks, and with the sticks they were helping him to hold the Govardhan Hill. So this is how Yoga Maya works. This is very enjoyable, but they are not aware. So the same thing happened when Lord Nityananda actually came. People were not really aware who he is. It's interesting aspect because, yes, the Lord is an enjoyer, but Bhagavan, Bhoga means something to enjoy. That's why Bhagavan. But he is also a servant. And Lord Nityananda specifically is about this aspect of service attitude. What he actually brings to us is this wonderful capacity of service. This is actually when we chant Hare Krishna, what we're actually asking for is, my dear Lord, my dear energy of the Lord, please give us opportunity for your service. So our spiritual masters, starting from Srila Prabhupada, are engaging us in Krishna's service. Why it is so? Does Krishna need anything? No. He is Purnam. He is perfect and complete. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidaha Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnam Eva Vashishyate. He is perfect and complete. He doesn't need anything. But there is one thing he needs. He needs our love, our appreciation, that we finally turn our sight from external, unnecessary things which are temporary, janma, mrityu, jara, vyadhi, and to the real life, eternal, full eternity, bliss and knowledge, Sat Chit Ananda. This is what Lord Nityananda is about. The only thing we can do about it is service. Of course, Krishna is Bhagavan. He can do whatever he wants. He can liberate us. And actually, Lord Chaitanya liberated the whole population of the earth, not only even in India at that time. And then, of course, people start to ask, but how it is possible? Where did all these, bodies die? No. But how it is possible? He liberated those souls. But there is also innumerable number of souls who are about to incarnate. So immediately these bodies were taken by the other set of souls, so to say. And even in a modern day and age in psychiatry, occasionally you see that the people are possessing a dual personality. You can Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, and they can manifest very different aspects of personalities from one moment to another. So there are two souls sharing the same body. The servant Bhagavan, who is serving Bhagavan. And this is a mood which the greatness of Lord Nityananda, this is a mood which he gives to us, transmits. What kind of the servants we are? We might not understand it at the moment. We are on a good path, I would say, but it's like somebody was working hard in digging dirt or cleaning something big and, oil spills, and he is covered with this muck. And then he comes to shower, and he starts to shower. And yes, he's still dirty, but he is in the process of cleaning. So our position is, who are here, is just like that. We are in a state of cleaning. We are not perfect, mind you, but there is a process. And by following sadhana, sadhana means process. By following sadhana, that's why we chant our rounds, we do, what we should do. And by following this process, you will get advancement, proper advancement. So, what our real rasa, attitude, relation to God, at the moment we do not know. We are still too dirty. But by the cleansing process, one day it will come when we start more and more realize our original constitutional form of service. Because we are definitely not Bhagavan. We might be a little bit of a bogi, but not enjoyers. But we are little enjoyers, very small. And actually, there is, unless you are absolutely transcendental, there is nothing wrong. As Srila Prabhupada said, just add Krishna. Just add Krishna. You don't have to renounce. Just add Krishna in your life. Just add Krishna to your life. And that alone is sufficient for advancing. Somebody can, you're already in the train. You're in the process. And somebody might be very eager, and he starts to run in the train to come to destination, which is, of course, very nice. But if you're in the train, it's fine. Just stay in the train. Don't get out. But again, Krishna is so merciful, because even if a little, what you do for Krishna is eternally remaining with you. You won't take your money, your family, throughout the death. But whatever devotional service you've done throughout your life, it remains with you in the next lifetime. So this is service Bhagavan. The story about the appearance of Lord Nityananda, another part of the story, is that when Krishna left the planet, he felt a certain dissatisfaction. He was wondering and asking Srimati Radharani what it is. And then she told him that seemingly he did everything. You remember, Paritranaya Sadhuna Vinashaya Chadushkrita. He destroyed the miscreants. He upheld the devotees. But still he was not happy. So Srimati Radharani told him that, well, you did all that you were supposed to do, but you didn't give to people love of Godhead. So in this way, Krishna said, all right, I'll come just for that purpose. And he came as Lord Chaitanya. And this is a very intimate aspect. It's in Chaitanya Bhagavat, is described in great detail, so please read it. It's also available in electronic form. So Balaram, and Balaram, of course, he's older brother than Krishna, to Krishna, and he came before. And the same thing with Nityananda. Nityananda Ram came before. And his mood is Prema Mata Nityananda Kripa Avatara. Kripa is mercy. Mercy. Avatara full of mercy. Of course, Lord Chaitanya is also full of mercy. But Lord Nityananda specifically he prepares. I remind you that all of the paraphernalia used in the devotional service are none else than the manifestation of Lord Nityananda. karatals, mridanga, harmonium, a table, anything largely which you use in devotional service is an incarnation of Lord Nityananda. And anyway, I will not go into the details that actually the whole world, because you think it's our world, yeah, in a certain sense, but it's not our world. It's Krishna's world. The moment you realize, the moment the person realizes that, that's it. You are there. You think it's material wall, material, yeah, in a certain sense. It's because it's material because we see it this way, because we do not see. But Krishna says, Andantarasta paramanoche antarastam. I'm also not only in everybody's heart, but also in every atom. So Krishna is there too. And that was shown in another wonderful story of Prahlad Maharaj and Lord Narasimhadev. When his father challenged Prahlad Maharaj, so you say that your God is everywhere? Yes, of course, answered Prahlad Maharaj. And Hiranyakashipu roars, you want to say that he is in this column? Yes, yes. And then he takes the club and just smashes it. Narasimha Stamba. Oh, that was and that was Krishna. That for devotees, Krishna comes in a positive, his positive aspect. But for non-devotees, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Mrityu sarva harashchaham. I am all-devouring death. So the choice is yours. It's very easy. You know, either you, with Krishna, you want to serve, to do something, Krishna and his devotees, or you are just having a death in one form or another. So the choice is again yours. Oh, Krishna Govinda. And in a particular aspect, we belong, our particular tradition belongs to Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. And in that sense, we are very fortunate because Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda, they have, our Sampradaya has a special relationship to it. We still have there are 4 Sampradayas, bona fide Sampradayas in this world left. Nimbarka Shri, one more awaits me. But they do not have this direct mercy. It's only available to us in a full size, full swing. So, a little bit of a story that Hadayodja, he loved his son so much. Just one little story more. I know I'm transgressing all the time. He loved his son so much that they couldn't even, they had a hard time to let him go to play with other children. And of course, how they were playing? They were enacting Krishna Leelas. And once they were on a day of Janmashtami, which we know Krishna appeared in midnight, so they were out, all the children, and but parents didn't really worry about it because it was again Yoga Maya interaction, very special. As you know, at the age of, when Nimai was 12 years old, a sannyasi came, as it was customary during that time. And they had Krishna Katha, they fed this sannyasi, and then he's about to leave, and he says, well, I would like to have your son with me. And of course, Hadayoja couldn't refuse on one hand, but he was completely heartbroken, and he indeed died soon after the departure. And you can see that here, as I mentioned a little bit, correspondence between the story of Nityananda and Ramayana, and you see the mirroring the history of Dasharatha and Ramachandra, who also had to send his son in exile, though it was a Vishwamitra Muni, because Sri Hadai Pandit was the same Dasharatha, and Srimati Padmavati was the same Sumitra, who now faced a similar dilemma, but here in the age of Kali, displaying their greatness once again, ignoring their unbearable grief and prioritizing duty about the sentiment, they entrusted little Nityananda unto the sannyasi. But they didn't live too long after, because they couldn't stand the separation. So then 20 years, for 20 years, until he became 32 years old, he was on pilgrimage. Apropos, this sannyasi magically disappeared quite soon after. So he was, think of it for a second, 12-year-old boys traveling. And India at that time was, even now, it's plenty of wild places. At that time, it was a lot of jungle. You know, it was a dangerous, huge place. He was traveling for 20 years. During that time, he didn't preach. Why? Because he wanted that Lord Chaitanya does the preaching. So he was only preparing for that. He met with Lakshmipati after 10 years of traveling, who became his guru. And Lakshmipati, in dream, saw that Lord Balaram comes to him and tells him that he should initiate this boy who comes there. And the next day he appears. And Lakshmipati was very old. So he did this, he initiated. He at first refused. What is this? You are the Supreme Personality of God in himself, but then he just had to yield. It was very emotional meeting with Lakshmipati, and then he meets Madhavendra Puri, his god brother, initially. Also very interesting personality, embodiment of Raja Prema in the form of Madhurya Rasa, as it says. And Nityananda Prabhu accepted Madhavendra Puri as his guru as well. That we spoke a little bit about different kind of gurus. So God himself accepts his devotee as his guru. Wow, that's complicated story, isn't it? But it all has to do with a feeling. Finally, he said, he meets with Ishvarapuri, and Ishvarapuri tells him that the person you came for is already here, just find him. And I want to quote a beautiful verse. When I spoke about these thieves who tried to steal, and I'm finishing. It was a beautiful verse when these Brahminical thieves were paying obeisance to Lord Nityananda. There is a verse, Umanus kalita padanam bumir eva lambhanam tvai jata paradhanam tvam eva sharanam prabhu. Those who trip and fall have only the ground to support to again get up. Similarly, O Lord, those who commit offenses to you have no one but you to refuge. In the same way, the distress of one who commits offenses at your lotus feet is destroyed simply by remembering you. And then Krishna says, Sunadvidya, Nityananda says, Sunadvidya, yateka pataka kale tui, ara yadi na karit saba nimu muni. Listen, O Brahmana, I will relieve you of whatever sins you have committed, if you don't commit them again. There is verse in Bhagavad Gita 9:30, and you should know it. Apichat sudurachara janti mama nanyabhak. So a devotee, even if he commits, as it said, most abominable sins, he should be considered to be saintly. I will relieve you of whatever sins you have committed, if you do not commit them again. So here is an explanation, a commentary on this verse. This is a light in which it should be understood. Spiritual master, Lord Nityananda, in a moment of initiation, why we worship our spiritual master? Because he, in front of Krishna, he stands for Krishna in the face of Krishna, and he says, please take this burden of sins from this particular person. And upon receiving Diksha, that's why the Diksha Guru is worshipped. But this is not a license for committing sins over and over again. Yes, you will be abolished of your sins, but you should not commit them again. Otherwise, the whole idea of spiritual initiation is completely meaningless. I really took a long time, but I've prepared much more. But I think we should follow the schedule. Few quick questions.
What does it mean to take shelter at the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda for us?
Because he is the incarnation of, he is a Seva Bhagavan. Sevak. He is not Seva. Seva Bhagavan is to whom we are serving. He is a Sevak Bhagavan. He is the serving Bhagavan. It's a service. It's a spirit of a service and nothing else. In particular, service to devotees. Because Krishna says that if you say, somebody says that he is my devotee, he is not my devotee. But he is a devotee of my devotee, is my devotee. So this is an instruction actually by words and deeds, instructions of Lord Nityananda. this is aspect of which we in ISKCON, as a mundane, so to say, material spiritual organization, we should indeed work much more. Because to cultivate this attitude, to cherish everybody who speaks Krishna, for Krishna, does something for Krishna, is extremely valuable. And if we live our life in this life, then our life will be successful. Because Lord Nityananda himself takes care of us, like about these criminals. They became devotees. That means there is a chance for us. There is a chance for us. Hope I answered. Anybody else?
Always are some question, and yeah, the time it is running. Just 2-3 days before came one, he's Muslim, and just came sitting there in the enter, and I am speaking with one devotee, and after he be interested and ask me, what it is Krishna? I hear it many times here, Krishna, Krishna. How to answer some person, it is like the Muslim or the other.
He is God. The God is one. It's simple.
Yeah,
you ask, do you accept that there is only one God? And of course, the Muslims accept it. So you say, there is God. Yeah. God has been millions of different forms, names, incarnation, but there is one main, Krishna.
I mentioned Supreme God, and he asked me what it is the Supreme God and what it is in the form. They normally have no form, and
yes,
it is like
for just like for Jews, Muslims do not accept there is God like a power. But again, for details, you better ask Jews or Muslims. But in my understanding, God is some sort of the impersonal power. It's like in Islam, it's a little bit personal, but still it's impersonal. It's a, how to say, it's a punishment. Like this, Mrityu haras, sarva haras shaham. This is more in that line. But we have so much more. It's variation. But even logically speaking, how can you limit the unlimited? How can you say that God should have no form? That means you are limiting God. So, something like this. But the main point is, there is only one God. We just know him by the name Krishna, all attractive. Isn't God all attractive? So, because of course you can fear God. Among Christians there is also this, one should be a God-fearing person, which is okay if you have nothing else. It's better to fear God than not to fear God. Anybody else? Thank you very much. You were so kind to listen to about Lord Nityananda, I hope.
Thank you for coming today here, and wonderful lecture and wisdom as well. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Nityananda Ram, Nityananda Ram. Hare Krishna.